Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. Today I have the VF11B Thunderbolt from Macross Plus, or Macross Plus, however you want to say that. This is from Hasegawa, if I'm pronouncing that right. Pretty nice looking fighter. Now this is 1/72 scale. Already opened up and taken a look inside the box, look at the parts and whatnot. Your standard parts here, different parts of the fuselage, wings, canopy, stuff of that nature. You have some clear parts, like I said, the canopy and a couple, like, I guess, running lights and stuff like that. So this is fairly small. Again, I think I said 1/72 scale model, so I'm not going to try to do any lighting. Just basically trying to build this up. Now the box shows kind of a light brownish color and white paint scheme. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I might just kind of do my own thing on this. I'm not sure. I just want to have fun with this. And but it's going to get started with the build, and we'll see where it takes us. Okay, so here I finished up the forward part of the fighter and did some painting. I've painted up the pilot and his seat and his ejection seat, and added in the decals. I also did some test painting on this color. I'm not quite sure if that's what I'm going to go with, and that was a kind of a mixture of these two acrylic paints. Have some, it says light gray, but it has kind of a tan color to it. It's kind of a crisp gray, I guess, and then also a little bit of khaki to bring it kind of that brown color, but I'm not sure if it, I think it's not quite what I want, so I might be experimenting with that. And the main part of the body I've attached goes together pretty well. It's not like a Bandai kit. There is some gluing and some sanding and stuff on the seams. Still have a little bit more to go. Looks like I have a little area right here I need to address. Anyway, the wings do open and close. There's a little simple mechanism that connects those wings, so they open and close together. And then we have this part here, which is, I guess it's supposed to be on top of the head. I'm not real sure. It kind of, it moves, but it doesn't do anything when you move it. When the fighter transform, I think there was a gun or something on top of the head. So if you know that, just let me know in the comments. Anyway, I still have to attach the leg parts to the fighter, the engines, and I'm going to do that and get on to painting it. So just working out those details right now. Right, I have our fighter mostly assembled. There's a few parts left off. I have the landing gear and the gun, and there's some clear parts that attach. Then I'm going to go ahead and prime this up and do the painting. I'm going to paint the other parts separately, like the landing gear, and then attach that on after we have it painted. As you can see, I have the canopy all taped up and attached, so that'll be painted along with the rest of the model. First I need to put on a primer coat over the rest of it. Alright, as you can see here, I've started with most of the painting. I have the main coat of paint on, and that was, this is light gray, mixed in with a little bit of brown and regular grays. It's not quite the color I was going for, but I think it looks pretty good, and at this point I don't want to try painting over it and losing some of the details. You can see where I've also masked off and painted some white on some of these trailing edges of the wings and tail fins. I've painted the exhausts, these are movable, just with a black, hand painted those black. And I still have quite a bit of some little detail painting to do, and I still have the landing gear off for now. I know I'm painting inside these bays here, the landing gear bays, probably white. And then we still have a lot of decals, but I still have some detail painting to do. And once I get done with that, I'll put a gloss coat in preparation to put the decals on. Okay, I finished up with some of the detail painting, and I put on a clear gloss coat using this Vallejo Mecha Varnish gloss varnish. And to prep the surface for decals, they give you a lot of extra decals. Not all of these will be going on the model, but there are quite a few, so I'm just going to be working on that and getting some of the decals on our fighter here. All right, I've put on most of the decals. They do give you a lot of options in the course, but most of those are on. And once I finish getting those on, I put another coat of gloss from the Mecha collection, a gloss clear coat. As you can see right here, I've masked off and painted black around the frame of the canopy. It still has the masking tape that covers the actual canopy, but I wanted to go ahead and paint that black. They do include decals, but I just thought this would be a better way. I have a few more decals to try to attach up front. And then I'm going to do a little bit of weathering. I don't want to do a lot of weathering. Just some mild, maybe some washes, some panel lines, stuff like that. And I'm going to go ahead and finish it up. The final part would be putting on a clear dull coat. And I have a Mecha Collection matte varnish that I'm going to do that with. And the last thing I'll do is remove the masking tape off the canopy. So I'm going to come back. We should be all finished with our fighter. Okay, well, here is my finished Hasegawa 1/72 scale Macross Plus Thunderbolt. I finished up putting the decals on. I did a little bit of weathering just with some Tamiya Panaline accent color. Putting in all the panel lines, letting it set, and then taking some enamel thinner and some Q-tips and wiping off the excess. I have several little flaws, but overall I think it came out pretty well. This is pretty much like any kind of jet aircraft build, and I definitely have a lot to learn when it comes to those types of builds. I've seen a lot of people do a lot of neat stuff with color modulation and weathering and shading effects. I didn't really do that on this. This is an anime vehicle, so I didn't want to go overboard on that. I think I came pretty close to what was on the box. My color was a little bit off, but overall I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I think the pilot and all came out pretty well. Remember, that was taped up to the very end. I pulled that off. I made a simple scenic display base. That's off of wood plaque. Painted some colors, some pavement colors, and added in a little bit of yellow striping, kind of to simulate some kind of either runway or a flight deck or something of that nature. Then did a little bit of weathering on it. I always like having a little bit of a scenic display. It helps, kind of put the model in some kind of perspective, and I think it adds to the look of it. This was just some extra greeble I had just threw on there, just kind of give it a 3D effect on there. Quick look at the bottom. You can see we have our cannon on there, and that this just kind of went into place with actual pull-out. It's not glued. We have our landing gear, some of our striping, the engine nozzles vector out, so that's pretty cool. They still move up and down. The wings will open and close a little bit. They don't extend a lot. I guess that's all it extends, but they do open and close, so that's pretty cool. This little part here goes up and down. Again, I think that's supposed to be the top of the head when it transforms into the Battleoid or whatever it's called. I'm sure a lot of people might be correcting me on the correct names of its different configurations. Like I said, there are some little issues. Some of the decals had some serious issues. I think this one right here broken in like 3 pieces, so I had to kind of carefully get them all lined together and let them set. And few other little things that they didn't go on quite right. I think I had a little bit of a gap right here, and I took a little black paint because I painted the around the canopy. I actually painted that, and then the part that comes out here is actually decal, and when I put it on, there was a little bit of the brown showing through, so I just kind of covered up a little bit of black paint, and turned out all right. So anyway, as far as the model goes, it's a super cool vehicle. I really like the way it looks. The build was not too bad. It's not a Bandai snap together model. It's definitely a lot of gluing. There are some seams, some gaps that had to be filled, but nothing super major. Had a lot of issues with these orange decals that kind of come around the back end here around the engines. They did not want to go on very well, so I used some micro saw and micro set. I used both of them to kind of get those to set, and there's still some little bubbling if you look very close on that. They give you a lot of decals. They give you several options on decals. I like the little scorpion symbols on there, so I added those onto the tail sections. So anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed it. It's a pretty cool little ship. And until next time, everybody have a good one.